Hello, this video is all about job offer negotiation. That includes the salary negotiation piece. We're going to accomplish three specific things today. We're going to understand the importance of a formal job offer. We're going to recognize that a job offer is so much more than salary, and we're going to learn practical strategies for negotiating the job offer. Congratulations, you just got a job offer, or did you? You've been in the interview situation before where there's been promises made, or you hear language like you're going to be a great addition to the team. We can't wait to have you join us. This is not a job offer. Those are nice things to hear, but they are not real job offers. This is a real job offer. So job seekers, you've got to manage that. It is not a formal job offer until you actually see something in writing. And here's a look at some of the important stuff that I would look for in a formal job offer. So I want to be looking for the details of the position, the start date, my manager, supervisor, my salary amount, bonuses, etc. There's no really one perfect standard template when it comes to job offers, but this gives you an idea of some of the indicators of a good formal job offer. So first and foremost, something is actually written down. There's a job title, there's some sort of information about your compensation, the work schedule and location, your start date, and so on. There should also be a place with contact information for questions and some signature lines. So you should be able to take the offer away, think about it, revise it, review it, and then come back with your signature after the fact if you choose to accept it, or maybe you're going to negotiate. Why is a formal job offer so important? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is why. You absolutely, as a job seeker, need a formal job offer because it ensures the clarity around the terms of your employment, including compensation and benefits, verifies the legitimacy of the offer, right? Like, so you actually know in this case that the person is authorized to make the offer to you. Make sure you can also verify that it's aligned with what was promised to you during the interview, and it formalizes the acceptance process, and quite frankly, it's professional on the employer's part. The absence of a formal offer is a total red flag. This can really set the relationship up for failure, starting on the complete wrong foot, because it can lead to misunderstandings. Failure to provide a formal job offer can be indicative of an organization being completely disorganized, right? And not having clear expectations. I don't know about you, but that seems to me like a scary place to work. And it could also suggest a lack of commitment from the employer to actually hire you, right? Because it's not real until it's written down. It's so hard in the job interview process when you hear something like that and then you don't have this follow-up, right? The lack of follow-up can really lead to a ton of disappointment and make it mentally challenging for you to navigate the post-job interview process. So I encourage job seekers to say to themselves, you know what, it's great that this person has made me an offer in the interview, but really manage your emotions and mindset around that and recognize that it's really not an offer until there is something written down. A job offer, this is our second learning objective. Our job offer is so much more than salary. Yes, salary is a big piece of that. But I want you to assess the total value of the job offer. Consider both the tangible and intangible elements of the offer. And this starts with understanding what you want and need. So here's an example of that. If you're with a partner who has really great health benefits, right? So you're like, I don't really care about health benefits. Make sure that you have this top of mind when you're going in to negotiate your offer. Imagine you get a job offer that doesn't have great benefits and you go, oh, it's not great benefits. You need to know what's important to you, because if you don't care about that, this should not be part of your overall assessment as to whether or not to accept it. So some more tangible elements of a job offer outside of salary and benefits are going to be things like growth opportunities, value and culture that you're experiencing, job responsibilities and scope, and so on. All of these things are tangible. Cost of living and financial considerations, legal and contractual obligations. Some intangible elements of a job offer are going to include the culture and values piece as well, alignment with your own personal values, the quality of the leadership, flexibility, and so on. So a job offer is really, really all encompassing. It puts together everything that that employer is bringing to you to consider in your decision of whether or not to go work for them. Both of these elements, tangible and intangible, are really, really important in your overall assessment of the full picture of the offer from the employer. You want to consider everything, and you also want to make sure that you understand what your needs are before you start making decisions. Why is assessing the full picture important when it comes to evaluating an offer? Well, that's because your happiness matters, right? If you're just strictly going for the best salary, it could be problematic if your values aren't aligned with the company values, for example. A job offer is so much more than just the pay. It's this package deal that comes with perks well beyond the salary. And it's not just about the money, right? It's about finding a job that fits your life, your goals, and ultimately makes you happy. Now, full disclosure, I feel you. Sometimes we just need a job, right? And this might not apply in that case. Okay, our third learning objective is to learn some practical strategies for actually negotiating your job offer. So remember, we have something in writing at this point. That's how we know we have a job offer. We want to manage the salary expectations discussion really, really professionally. We want to make sure that we are well versed on industry standards. Delay specifics if possible. If they're asking you for details on your current salary, try not to answer. And we always want to make sure that we're providing ranges, not specific numbers. Listen and respond appropriately. Really be a professional throughout all of these discussions and try to manage those emotions. It is advisable, like really advisable, to avoid answering questions related to your current salary and your expectations. This information gives the interviewer an advantage during future negotiations. This is why pay transparency conversations are such a thing, because the interviewer already has an advantage, right? They know the salary assigned to that job, likely, hopefully, right? Don't give them more information. If you can avoid providing salary information, do so at all costs. Here's how you're going to try to avoid. Here's a strategy. Let's just decline by redirecting the conversation. I'll give you 2 tactics for that. 1, decline by redirecting. You're asked, what's your current salary? Thanks so much for asking. I prefer not to disclose it. It is private information. Maybe you're grossly underpaid. However, I'm really interested in discussing the compensation for this new opportunity. Try it. See what happens. Decline by redirecting again. What are your salary expectations? Maybe you say something like, before getting into it, I'd really like to further understand the role. Can you provide more information about the salary range or budgeted amount for this position? Try it. See what happens. Avoid. And bonus, here you're getting more information about the role and potentially about the salary range. Okay, strategy 2, try to avoid by focusing on like the bigger picture. So you're asked, what are your salary expectations? So it's really important to me, but I'm also like really, really placing a strong value on the total compensation, like benefits and professional development. I'm really looking for a position where I can grow my career. Maybe that shuts them down. Here's another strategy to try to avoid. If they ask you what you are looking for, try to provide a range. You might get backed into a corner where it's like, listen, we got to have the discussion about money. In this case, the best thing you can do is sort of provide a range. I'd stay within like 15K. I would honestly provide a pretty broad range for that to get the conversation started. Offer a range that reflects your market value based on your research and the compensation you're seeking for the role. Bonus points if you know someone in the field or the company or whatever where you could have had an informational interview with them. I'll link to a video on that topic here, where you could have gotten some inside information. That would really, really helpful. You cannot actually negotiate a job offer before receiving something formal from the employer. Why? Because it's simply not real until you actually get something in writing. To effectively negotiate, you need to actually really understand the details of the offer. If you don't have that written down, you're basically acting all on fact and assumptions. Negotiating starts after you have something in writing. Fair, people are going to start the discussion during the interview process, but the actual negotiating starts after you have the offer. Should you negotiate your job offer? It totally depends. There's no right or wrong to this. Consider your financial situation, the job market, and your goals. If there's room for improvement, or stuff that just doesn't meet your requirements, consider negotiating. If the employer doesn't, the employer, you should know, doesn't typically lead with the best offer. Anyways, I've never come out with my best offer when I was doing recruitment. And you want to base the decision to negotiate or not on you, your own situation, and your own priorities. Okay, you should probably negotiate if your initial offer is lower than industry standards, you've got in-demand skills, you've got multiple offers. Like, honestly, if you're willing to walk away, try to get more salary, vacation, benefits. Give it a try. Give it a try if you are willing to walk away, especially. And secondly, you shouldn't negotiate a job offer if the initial offer already meets your expectations, right? If you're like, I'm so pumped about this offer, the company has said that the offer is actually non-negotiable, the job market's really competitive, and you've evaluated it and you feel like it's fair. Or if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, I just need a job, you maybe don't want to negotiate. But just always know, I've never led when I was doing recruitment with the best possible offer. So it might be worth a try. Okay, so here's where to start when it comes to negotiation. You want to make sure that you have clear objectives. You always want to make sure that you're expressing appreciation. You want to develop a clear, compelling argument that's based on facts, data, and research, and practice too, right? Practice so that you're professional going into the discussion. Here's how to ask for more salary. Thanks. Based on my research. Okay, pause to read, right? You can ask for more salary with this exact script. Here's how to ask for more vacation. You can ask for more vacation with this exact script. Worst case, often the worst case scenario is an employer is going to say no. It's going to be pretty rare that they go to a second candidate. They're likely, if they're reasonable, going to consider your offer if you are being reasonable as well. All right, the biggest challenge that you must overcome as a job seeker, especially if you find yourself as a member of a marginalized group. Do you know this song? You don't know your worth? All the things I know that you deserve. The biggest challenge that you have to overcome is understanding the true value that you bring and being able to articulate that to employers. Okay, here's what we did. You've got to know that a job offer might not be as simple and straightforward as it seems. It's not just salary. And effective negotiation is going to start with knowing your own goals and objectives. And you can do it. You can get more if you're prepared and manage the discussions really professionally and respectfully. All right, are you ready? Congratulations on your job offer. I wish you all the best in your future negotiations. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to click to subscribe.